Get your hands off her! Brix Wallace's voice cracked like a gunshot across the 360-degree glass walls, the Capitol dome glowing blood red in the sunset behind him. Clara Whitby stood trembling, security guards gripping her arms, her work badge dangling like a noose. Elliot Kane smirked, holding up the flash drive everyone thought was stolen. "Told you, Uncle Brix. She's been selling us out for months." Clara's eyes, wet and furious, locked on Brix. "I have never betrayed you. Not once. You know me." Brix slammed a laptop on the conference table. The screen lit up with night vision footage that made the entire executive floor go dead silent. "Play it," he growled. And when the truth hit, even the guards let go of her arms. Washington, D.C. doesn't sleep. It reloads. At the top of the gleaming Wallace Innovations Tower in Noma, Brix Wallace, 55, self-made cybersecurity legend, was nursing a double espresso and a migraine the size of the federal deficit. He'd just come off a brutal 14-hour day. 7 a.m., classified briefing at the Pentagon. 11 a.m., getting grilled by a Senate subcommittee about foreign hackers. 3 p.m., discovering a $42 million line of code had been copied from the secure server after hours. The trail led to one terminal. Employee ID, C. Whitby 1187. Name, Clara Elise Whitby, 28, senior encryption engineer, Howard University grad, single mom, Anacostia address. Brix stared at her employee photo. Natural hair in a neat puff, warm brown eyes, smile that made investors trust her in pitch meetings. He'd personally fought the board to hire her 2 years ago when half of them whispered, "Diversity hire." Now that same board wanted blood. He pulled up the logs himself. 10:47 p.m. last night. 11:12 p.m. the night before. 11:59 p.m. every night for 2 weeks. Brix grabbed his coat. He was going to catch her in the act. He followed her red line train across the Anacostia River, past the buzzing Navy Yard, past the giant food on Alabama Avenue where locals lined up for the weekly rotisserie chicken deal. She got off at Congress Heights, walked 6 blocks in the cold, and disappeared into the Frederick Douglass Community Center, a squat brick building with cracked sidewalks and dreams bigger than its budget. Brix parked his matte black Tesla across the street, killed the lights, and watched through binoculars. Inside, fluorescent lights buzzed over folding tables. 20 teenagers from the neighborhood sat in a circle around Clara, laptops open, her voice carrying through the cracked window. "Okay, y'all, encryption isn't magic, it's math. And math don't care where you're from. Tonight we're building a secure app that texts parents when the giant food truck drops discounted produce, so nobody misses the $1.99 chicken again." A skinny boy in a wizard's hoodie raised his hand. "Miss Clara, can we make it ping when the free school lunch sign-up opens too?" Clara laughed. The kind of laugh that makes you believe tomorrow might actually be better. "Already on it, Malik." Brix's chest tightened. She wasn't stealing code. She was giving it away, turning Wallace Innovations tools into lifelines for kids who looked just like her at that age. He sat in the dark car until the center lights went off at midnight. When she locked up, he saw her kiss her fingers and touch the doorframe, same ritual every night. He didn't follow her home. He drove to his Georgetown penthouse and poured a drink he didn't taste. Twist Hashone. The next morning, he quietly upgraded every kid's laptop at the center, anonymously, and left a post-it on Clara's desk. "Keep teaching. BW." But suspicion doesn't die easy in D.C. 2 weeks later, Elliot Kane arrived like a virus nobody asked for. 32, Harvard business barely failed crypto fund, 87K Instagram followers, and the survival instinct of a hyena. "Uncle Brix, thought I'd come learn the family business," he grinned, dropping Louis Vuitton luggage in the marble foyer. Within days, things started disappearing. A beta encryption key from the lab. A signed NDA from a Fortune 500 client. $8,400 in petty cash, earmarked for the intern pizza fund. Every trail pointed conveniently to Clara's login. Elliot cornered Brix in the private gym at 5 a.m. "She's good, Uncle. Too good. Late nights, locked office, encrypted USBs. You know what that means." Brix wanted to punch him. Instead, he set a trap only a billionaire could set. He created a fake file. Project Eagle, quantum backdoor blueprint. Planted digital breadcrumbs that screamed, "Steal me." Then he waited. That night, the alarm pinged again. Brix took the private elevator down, silent as a ghost. But when he flung open the lab door, he didn't find Clara. He found Elliot, hoodie up, copying the fake file to his own drive, muttering, "Once she takes the fall, the board will beg me to step in." Brix stepped out of the shadows. "Looking for something, nephew?" Elliot jumped so hard he dropped the drive. I was testing security. For you." Brix's smile was arctic. "Get out of my building! You've got until sunrise." Elliot's eyes flashed panic, then venom. "You'll regret this, old man." Blood's thicker than code. Twist #2. Brix thought it was over. It wasn't. Elliot had one last card, and he was about to play it dirtier than anyone imagined. Monday morning, 9:03 a.m. Brix walked into chaos. Security had Clara pinned against the lobby wall. Reporters from Axios and the Washington Post were already outside because someone tipped them. Elliot stood in the center holding a flash drive like it was the nuclear football. "Found this in her bag, Uncle. Exact copy of Project Eagle." She was walking out the door with it. Clara's voice shook, but didn't break. "I've never seen that drive in my life." Cameras flashed. Phones were out. Someone was live streaming. Brix felt the old rage, the same rage that lost him his marriage, his best friend, half his fortune, rising like the Potomac in a hurricane. He looked at Clara, then at the drive, then at Elliot's perfect crocodile tears. Conference room, now. They marched upstairs like a funeral procession. Inside the glass-walled room overlooking the Capitol, Elliot laid out his evidence. Forged timestamps, fake email chains, even a deep-fake audio of Clara supposedly offering to sell secrets. The board dialed in on Zoom, faces grim. Brix said nothing. He just opened his laptop and hit play. The same night vision footage from Chapter 2 rolled, but this time longer. It showed Elliot planting the drive in Clara's bag while she was downstairs picking up Theo from the company daycare. Then, it showed him emailing the press from a burner account. Wallace Innovations diversity hire caught stealing, story inside. The Zoom call went silent. Clara's knees buckled. A guard caught her before she hit the floor. Brix caught her too. Elliot tried to bolt. Security blocked the door. Brix's voice was quiet thunder. "You didn't just try to ruin her. You tried to ruin everything I built. Get him out of my sight." Twist #3. As security dragged Elliot away, he screamed the final bomb nobody saw coming. "She's not even qualified. Howard degree? Fake. I paid a dean to push her through so you'd look woke." The room froze. Brix turned to Clara, voice soft. "Is that true?" She lifted her chin, tears shining but spine straight. "No, sir. Every line of code I wrote, I earned. Every sleepless night, every time I pumped breast milk in the server room so Theo could eat, I earned. Check the records. I dare you." Brix already had. Her degree was real. Her talent was real. The only fake thing in the room was the man being cuffed by actual U.S. Capitol Police who'd just arrived. The rooftop of Wallace Innovations had never looked more beautiful. The sun was bleeding orange and violet across the D.C. sky, painting the Capitol dome gold, turning the Potomac into a river of fire. A warm October breeze carried the smell of falling leaves and distant barbecue from the wharf. A live jazz trio, local kids from Duke Ellington School of the Arts, played Take the A-Train, soft enough to talk over, loud enough to feel in your chest. 300 people packed the space. Every employee, the entire board, reporters from the Post, Axios, and even a CNN crew that had to beg for rooftop access. At the front, 20 teenagers from the Frederick Douglass Community Center stood proud in brand new navy hoodies that read, "Future is Code" across the chest in glowing cyan letters. And right in the middle of it all, in a simple black dress that cost less than most people's phone bill but made her look like she owned the skyline, stood Clara Whitby. Brix Wallace stepped to the microphone. No notes, no teleprompter, just a man finally ready to speak the truth out loud. 6 weeks ago, he began, voice carrying over the city, "I almost fired the most brilliant mind I've ever employed because I let fear, family, and my own ugly assumptions do the thinking for me. I almost destroyed a woman who was out here saving lives while I was busy guarding a vault." He turned and looked straight at Clara. "Clara, you didn't just teach those kids how to code. You taught me what courage actually looks like. It looks like a single mom catching the red line at 10 p.m. after a 12-hour shift so she can show a 15-year-old boy he's worth more than the corner trying to recruit him. It looks like pumping breast milk in a freezing server room at 3 a.m. because your baby's daycare closed and rent was due. It looks like never once, not once, letting this city break your spirit." The crowd was already crying. Phones were up. Somebody in the back started slow clapping and it spread like wildfire. Brix raised a hand to quiet them. Effective immediately, Clara Elise Whitby is Executive Vice President of Community Impact and Co-Chief Technology Officer. She owns 7 figures in equity starting tonight. That's not charity. That's correction of a debt this company owes her. Then he grinned, the first real smile anyone had seen from him in years. "And we are breaking ground on the Whitby Wallace Innovation Labs, 10 state-of-the-art coding centers across the district wards that need them most, fully funded, free for any D.C. kid who wants in. First location opens next spring right next to the Giant on Alabama Ave, so parents can grab groceries while their babies learn to build the future." Theo, Clara's 5-year-old, broke free from his daycare teacher and sprinted across the roof in light-up Spider-Man sneakers, crashing into his mama's legs, screaming, "Mommy, are we rich now?" The whole rooftop lost it. Laughter and tears mixing like sweet tea. Clara scooped him up, kissed his forehead, and whispered loud enough for the mic to catch. "We were always rich, baby. We just added some Wi-Fi." Brix dropped to one knee in front of them both, something no one had ever seen him do. "I got one more thing." He pulled a small velvet box from his jacket. Not a ring box, something better. Inside was a single house key on a tiny keychain shaped like the Howard University crest. "This is to a 4-bedroom brownstone in Trinidad, 2 blocks from the community center, paid off, deed in your and Theo's name. No mortgage, no games. You've carried this city long enough. Let the city carry you for once." Clara's hand flew to her mouth. The jazz trio stopped playing. Even the CNN camera guy wiped his eyes. She tried to speak, couldn't, so Theo did it for her. "Thank you, Mr. Brix. Can we get a puppy?" The roof exploded again. Brix stood, still on one knee, laughed until his shoulders shook. "Puppy, Jungle Jim, whatever you want, little man." Then he stood, faced the crowd again, and the smile faded into something fierce. "Now let's talk about the trash we took out." A massive screen behind him lit up. Federal mugshot, Elliot Kane, orange jumpsuit, defeated eyes. Wire fraud, corporate espionage, conspiracy, identity theft. My own nephew tried to sell this company to foreign actors and pin it on an innocent black woman to cover his tracks. He's looking at 15 to 20 in federal prison. And every penny he ever inherited, seized and redirected into the Whitby Wallace Scholarship Fund. He let that sit for a second. "I used to think blood made family. Turns out family is the people who show up when the cameras are off, when the money's tight, when the world tells you you don't belong. Family is a 5-year-old sharing his last Capri Sun with a kid he just met. Family is a woman who could have sold my secrets for millions and instead used them to feed hope." He stepped back, gestured for Clara to take the mic. She hesitated, then walked forward like she was born for it. "I grew up 3 miles from here," she said, voice steady. "In a neighborhood some of y'all won't drive through after dark. My mama cleaned offices downtown so I could go to Howard. I learned real fast that in this city you gotta be twice as good to get half as far, especially when you look like me. But I also learned something else. Talent doesn't need permission. It just needs a chance." She looked at the teenagers in the front row. "Y'all are that chance. Don't let nobody, not a boss, not a boyfriend, not the news, tell you your postcode decides your future. Code doesn't care if you're from Anacostia or Georgetown. It only cares if you're willing to stay up late and debug your dreams." The kids rushed the stage. Hugs, selfies, tears, chaos in the best way. Brix watched it all from the side, arms crossed, eyes glassy. Later, when the crowd thinned and the city lights twinkled below like a million lines of working code, Clara found him by the railing. "You didn't have to do all this," she said softly. "Yeah, I did," Brix replied. I needed to remember why I started this company in the first place. You reminded me. He pulled out one last envelope. Thick, official. Full ride for Theo, any school he wants, K through PhD. And when he's ready, there'll be a desk right next to yours. Clara took the envelope, then did something nobody expected. She hugged him. Not a professional, not cautious, just human. Over her shoulder, Brix saw the kids taking group photos with the D, C, skyline behind them, laughing, dreaming out loud. He smiled, really smiled, for the first time in decades. Somewhere across the river, fireworks from a Nationals playoff game painted the sky red, white, and blue. Clara whispered, "Look at that. 4th of July in October." Brix laughed. "Nah, that's just America finally getting one thing right. The end." Moral of the story. Never judge the content of someone's character by the color of their skin or the balance in their bank account. The people who change the world are usually too busy building it to brag about it. Now hit that comment section and tell me, have you ever been the Clara in the room? Have you ever been the Brix who almost missed the diamond because you were looking for dirt? Drop your story. I'm reading every single one. If this one made you cry, laugh, or cheer, do all 3 things to the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this with every dreamer who needs to hear they belong. We out here choosing people over pedigrees. See you in the next one. Peace, family.